Lost $106,000 out of my 401k retirement plan I spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half the equity in the home, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and savings that I also spent 20 years contributing to.
The Bible warns us to count the cost before building the tower, but these folks filed papers thinking freedom was free, and now the bill is overdue. We got women complaining about paperwork while men are out here losing their 401ks, their house, and their will to live.
I also lost half of all the non-liquid assets like furniture, household goods, electronics, cars. Keep in mind, I paid for all of these.
Lord, we need a financial miracle because this math, it ain't mathin'.
This single mom cries real tears the moment that she realizes that it was probably cheaper to stay married and not divorce her husband, and she's struggling to pay her divorce lawyer.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I'm sad because my divorce lawyer requested another $4K, and like I think in the past year and a half I spent like $25,000. And it's not easy. Like, my ex keeps like prolonging this divorce because he wants my dad to sell his house so he can get money from it. Like, the whole custody plan and everything is like all set and done, and it just sucks because I'm like a single mom and I work my ass off.
All right, so before we get into the tears, I want to talk about what she said right there. She said, listen, the custody plan, right, when it comes to what we're going to do with the kids. By the way, for those of you that wonder, can a prenuptial agreement protect you from child support? You can't do anything with kids when it comes to prenups. But that's not what they're arguing about over here. She's arguing about assets with the man who she decided to divorce. And she says he wants my dad to sell his house because he needs that. He needs a piece of that. This is definitely a situation where a prenup would have made expectations of what's going to happen in case this marriage does not work out, and would have.
Most people try to avoid prenups because of the whole, oh, you think we're not gonna last, when it can save you when this happens. But guys, you don't want to lose money, men and women, then watch out where your private parts are going. Stop knocking up women that you shouldn't be knocking up. Ladies, stop just taking D's wherever possible, because, and look out for the red flags in the beginning. Like, it's pretty easy to tell early on if a relationship's gonna last or not. Then you don't end up in this situation where you're just draining each other until you have nothing left.
Change the situation from this is hell and I've been going through it for a year plus to, wow, this was very difficult. Boy, am I glad we got that prenup. And of course, guys, this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. If you need legal information, head over to fathershaverights.com.
And I don't, like, it's not like that guy gives me child support. It's not like he even offers to buy a diaper box or a box of milk for my son, even though that's his son too. He only messages us on the days that he gets to have use, which is like once every Sunday, every other week.
Well, maybe he's mad that you got this child plan where he gets to see his kids every other week. Why would he contribute to you financially all the time if you're the one who's primarily responsible? If they're at your house, it's your money. When they're at his house, it's his money.
Other than that, it goes like no contact, no how is our son, no nothing. It's like me raising our kid by myself, and to like work my ass off and like pay another $4,000 just to like have this divorce somewhat be finished. It's so hard. Not only is divorce emotionally draining, it's also financially draining.
Oh, really?
You didn't think about that?
And I feel like I wish like the court system like had a thing for people who was like bullshitting around and would just go straight to the point, because my ex is like trying to do his best to prolong this and juice this.
But aren't you also trying to pull on this and juice this at the same time? Divorce lawyers are literally certified crooks. How do I know? I've had a couple of them for just one divorce, and they all charge you a boatload of money. There's no pro bono divorce. But if you make it a hard time, you're trying to take the kids all this time, get as much as you can out of them, then yeah, they're gonna fight back. They're not prolonging it. They're trying to get what's fair.
Welcome to what it's like being a man in the family court system. from someone who does believe that the laws need to be changed. And I believe the only way these laws will ever be changed is if we get more videos like this. Unfortunately, people only care and feel sad when a woman is going through this. If a man's over here crying and be like, oh, divorce, people are like, haha, and swipe up. But people look at this and they're kind of like, oh, this is kind of sad. Maybe we should change the laws. Maybe, right? The sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Imagine paying child support fully for 18 years. You paid it full, done. But the mother of your child still wants more. She tells the court it's unfair. I didn't create this child by myself. That's exactly what happened in this situation. And that's when the judge leaned in and said, ma'am, you can't do this. I can't make him pay child support past 18. Not when he's already done paying it and the child has graduated. So, of course, child support ended that day. But child support isn't always fair, and it doesn't always end clean. But knowing how the system works helps you prepare for battle. That's why fathershaverights.com is creating the Custody Prep Guide for Men, presented to you by expert attorneys to help fathers know what to do, what not to do, and how to protect themselves at every step of the custody process. Click the link pinned to the top of the comments. Join the waiting list for the Custody Prep Guide for Men.
Even though he gets like literally nothing out of it. Divorce sucks. This is the reality. And now I have to suck it up and go downstairs with a smile and act like I'm not sad.
You probably also shouldn't post this stuff on TikTok. Granted, we love this kind of content on these channels, but I would imagine your divorce lawyer would probably advise against doing that.
Wish me luck.
All right. Check out the rest of his comments. Top commenter says it's worth every dime. This female commenter here says, and somebody else responded back and says, I know, I just have to be patient. Somebody else here says, no, you have to be logical.
The question that I'm always getting asked as a Texas family law attorney is, how much is my divorce going to cost me? Now, a lot of family law attorneys, including myself, charge per hour. So how much a divorce is going to cost you is going to be contingent on the fact of how many hours I have to put into your.
My divorce lawyer, or at least one of them, was $650 an hour, and he would just charge me by the minute for every email sent, whatever. It was, oh my God.
Case. For example, I just got out of court to finalize what we call an uncontested divorce, meaning that nothing was fought out in this divorce. The decree to their divorce was signed by both the parties and they were in agreement of everything. They had already resolved how the property was going to be divided. Other couples, if they have kids, they'll figure out what the custody schedule is going to look like, child support agreements, etc., etc. So in that case, because they don't need attorneys negotiating what they want for them and they're able to resolve the issues on their own, the divorce was so affordable. And that's going to be the difference maker between a $3,000 divorce and a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 divorce.
Yeah, you really should try to do things amicably. If you are getting a divorce, stop thinking about how much can I take from the other person. Start thinking about, okay, what's realistic here? Because by the time we pay our lawyers and everything, all this stuff we took from each other is going to have very little value. So you should probably just do it amicably. If you're like, all right, this isn't working, we got to break up, we got to divorce, let's go get the paperwork ourselves, let's fill out the paperwork, or have a lawyer fill out the paperwork. But all right, like, we have kids, we have a house, we have this, so okay, I have the better job, so I'll go out and get a new place. Okay, you can keep this place, but you've got to figure out how to pay for it. Like, you know, all right, you work this much and I work this much, so I'll take the kids these days, you take the kids that day. But no, it just always has to be this fight for taking everything possible from each other.
So how much did my divorce cost me? Well, this is a fantastic question. There's direct and there's indirect costs. Direct costs, I lost $106,000 out of my 401k retirement plan I spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half the equity in the home, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and savings that I also spent 20 years contributing to.
Poor guy.
I also lost half of all the non-liquid assets like furniture, household goods, electronics, cars. Keep in mind, I paid for all of these. And this is in addition to financially supporting her and her/our daughter for 17 years, which is many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm now broke, live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and have a negative net worth for the first time since I was, 25. Indirect costs: my job, my sobriety, my self-worth, my masculinity, my hope for the future, my ability to trust women again, my belief in God, my pride, my motivation, my physical health. I don't know, let's just say everything.
You know, that makes me sad to hear his belief in God. and I felt his masculinity was taken, his trust in women. I mean, that suggests that maybe there was some adultery involved here, but please don't lose your faith in God. You know, we are God's creations. He's not here to look out to make sure bad things don't happen or the world would be peaceful. We are just creations and we have to be kind to each other. Yeah, it sucks to start over, but you know what? Things are changing lately. The age of first-time millionaires is getting higher. The age of entrepreneurs is getting higher. So even if you're 40s, 50s, like, you still have a chance, guys. Don't let divorce ruin you. Don't let it take you down. Don't let it take your emotions down. Move on. Stay busy. Hustle, and you'll get back there. I promise. But don't let it take you down so hard. Like I remember when I got divorced. It was hard at first, but we made it. But I made it through, and now I'm in the best situation I've been in a while.
And says he doesn't have claim on your dad's house. Just show proof you paid the rent. He's trying to break you completely. Here's somebody else who says, wait, he wants half of your dad's house. And the creator, this is the actual chick giving us a little bit more information. She says, yes, girl, during COVID, we couldn't afford rent. So my dad bought a small house and let us live there. The mortgage was $1,800 and I would pay like $1,000 and my dad would buy groceries for us. And I was the only one working and pay for my ex's stuff. So I guess she meant there I was paying for my ex's stuff and I was the only one with the job. I couldn't do it all by myself, and he never wanted me to go out and work. So I was so limited. When I had my baby, he let all my hard work crash and close down. He thinks he is entitled to my dad's house. Okay, so on the surface, a lot of this sounds terrible, but the reality is a lot of people lost their jobs during COVID. A lot of businesses shut down during COVID, and a lot of relationships were tested during that time. And I could imagine if she was maybe an essential worker or maybe works in the medical field, she was able to keep her job. The question I have here is, why does he feel entitled to her dad's house? Well, there could be one of two things. Number one, he put the house in her name. And again, they do not have a prenup, most likely. Otherwise, they wouldn't be arguing about this long. And if you put the house in her name, that house immediately becomes community property.
And at the same time, you know, if there's the same woman from the first clip, we heard he only gets to see his kids every other week. He's probably getting pretty drained by his lawyer too, just like she said she is. So he needs cash. And if he's losing his children, or he's expected to pay child support and do all this stuff while, you know, and while going out and finding a new place to live, he should have something to do that with. You know, you did make a mistake by not doing a prenup, and yes, it really sucks. And it seems like he thinks he's entitled to it, but really, you guys are just draining each other financially, and you got to do whatever you can to stay afloat. And that means getting rid of that house.
Unless if you draft a prenuptial agreement that details it, like, hey, if it's in my name, you know, it's like one of the simplest ways people approach dividing assets. If it's in my name, the car, the house, it's mine. If it's in your name, it's yours, and you guys can decide, you know, is this going to be both ours straight down the middle, or is this going to be yours or mine only? You can even have gifts that are given, and you know that if that person's name is on that car and you switch it to their name, it 100% belongs to them. It makes things a lot easier. And so it could be that situation, or it could be in both the dad's name and hers. And even if she only owns a small percentage of that, what I've understood from expert attorneys talking to me, then he would be entitled to that in most states, or at least half of that community.
The best way, honestly, to protect this stuff, man or woman, if it's just in your name and not theirs, transfer it to your family's name.
Property.
How many billions of dollars did 4 billionaires lose in their divorces? These are the top 4 most expensive divorces ever. Are you smarter than me? Can you guess who number 1 is? I guessed wrong. But number 4, Rupert Murdoch. When this billionaire responsible for Fox News divorced his second wife in 1999, she reportedly received $1.7 billion. Wow. That's a lot, but trust me, the numbers get way higher from here. Number 3, Alec Wildenstein. This heir to a multi-billion-dollar art dealing business divorced Jocelyn Wildenstein in 1999. She reportedly received $2.5 billion, with some rumors saying as high
her face looks like it was a painting from like Van Gogh or something.
Is $3.8 billion, but somehow even that much money wasn't enough for Jocelyn. In 2018, she filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. But now we get to the bigly ones. Number 2, Bill Gates. No exact details of Bill and Melinda's 2021 divorce have been made public, but Forbes estimates Melinda received $25 billion in the divorce.
Melinda, or is that that she looks so much like a dude? Oh my god.
Settlement. Some estimates are much higher and
God
some are
did
much
not make
lower,
that
but I
picture.
think we can safely assume that Bill and Melinda's divorce was at least number 2 on this list. And Bill might be on another list, but finally number 1, did you guess right? Oh, by the way, I'm Listman Guy. My birthday's in a few days. If you want to follow me or say hi, or even you just
Listman
watching
Guy.
this really makes my day, so thank you. But number 1, Jeff Bezos. In Jeff and
That's what I
Mackenzie's
thought.
divorce settlement, she retained 25% of their Amazon company stock. According to CNN, when their divorce was finalized in July 2019, the value of her stock was right around $38 billion.
Jeff downgraded on his new wife. That lady is way prettier than the new one, who just looks like super fake.
Seen or been involved in.
Got paid $3 million from one of my clients over the course of 4 years. That's the most expensive one I've ever personally been
Jesus.
involved in. The other side, in that case, paid $5 million across 4 law firms, kept picking them off one at a time. And every time she would get a negative outcome, she would fire her lawyers and hire new ones. I was on it from the beginning all the way to the end. She spent $5 million. My client spent $3 million, plus another $1 million or so each in expert fees. It was, by the time it was all said and done, about a $12 million divorce.
Somebody responded back to her comment and said,
And imagine I wonder whether it was worth it and how much. I mean, I wonder what their like total net worth that the couple was to have spent that much and then come out with something worthwhile afterwards.
does dang, so if it's your dad's house, how can he have any claim to it? His name isn't attached to the deed, right? God bless you. You will get through this. She says, I don't know. He's trying to file motions to make my dad sell his house because he paid the rent, which he really didn't. I did. And these motions are delaying the final divorce. He didn't even try for custody. He just wants money. Okay, so maybe this may be a different situation. Could it be that there's a chance that he has money and he's just like, F it, I'm going to make this court case carry out for as long as possible. I know you can't afford this. And he's just like, F you. That's also a possibility.
But we also know that online people tend to only tell one side of the story, saying he didn't even try for custody. I mean, yeah, there are some deadbeat dads out there, but that seems unlikely.
Divorce the same person you marry. And she says, listen, we need to change these laws so that people who are out here just filing motion after motion just to extend the time and hurt that other person's pockets can't do that anymore. Men would love that. Men would love that. That's why we need more women to be in this situation, because things tend to happen when a woman sheds tears. That's just the reality. And of course, next here we have the question that a lot of you probably want to know. This gentleman asked, did you file for divorce or did he? And she says, I did. And there we go. That's why he's so angry. That's why he's probably so upset. He thought it was till death do us part. And you may be thinking, well, maybe he was beating her up. He's a violent monster. Should have probably said that. Chicks who go online and are trying to like earn money through content, they're willing to use any measure. Next comment here says, dragging it out is the worst. This next female commenter says, divorce is crazy. It will nearly destroy you during the process, but I promise it's worth it. Hang tight. Better things are coming. So better things may be coming for you, but for your children, they are now at a statistical disadvantage. This commenter here says, should have gotten a prenup. I would never marry, no benefit to it. She responded and says, OMG, prenup is a must for the next. So
No benefits to marriage. There are now, let's see, tax purposes, having your spouse qualify to receive benefits from your job, also to be listed on health insurance, stuff like that. There are benefits to being married. You just have to do it the smart way with a prenup. And then, like I said earlier, be amicable if you get a divorce and don't make your kids suffer, at least.
she's looking for the next. Are you guys ready to be the next? That is the question. So in this particular video that I can't play because I think there's like copyrighted music, she goes in to talk about how she wasn't loved the right way. And it sounds like that's the reason why she decided to file, and she was asking to be loved the right way, and she was never loved the right way. And she believes that there's a man out there who will love her the way that she expects a man to love her. In her words in this video, she says, though I've never experienced this in my life, I believe it exists. She says, why? Because I'm that person. Right. So here you have somebody who divorced her husband because she wasn't loved the right.
And now she has leftovers, single mom, baby daddy, divorce and custody issues. No man is gonna want that. Not a single childless young dude who will love you the right way. Maybe another man with kids who's also divorced might get with that, but not a regular guy. This sounds like also could potentially be a case of the bored wife leaving a good husband, but because she hasn't said anything nice about her husband, like some of them do, where they're like, oh yeah, like he was perfect, I just, you know, things didn't work, like kind of stuff. You know, she hasn't said any of that yet, but this feels like could be that situation too. It could be all kinds of stuff. It's hard to judge.
Right way, regardless of her vows, which leads me to this final video that's sort of on the same lines. A lot of chicks share this mindset.
How it feels being in love with someone where they don't do anything wrong, but they also don't love the way that you want to be loved. Someone was asking me about that. You know, it's confusing because there's no big problem to point to, right? They're kind. They show up. They don't hurt you on purpose. So you keep asking yourself, why do I still feel lonely? You start shrinking your needs. You tell yourself you're asking for too much. You explain away the ache because technically they're a good person, but love isn't just about intentions. Love is about impact. And when you keep leaving conversations feeling unseen, unchosen, or emotionally hungry, yeah, that matters. You're not ungrateful for wanting more. You're not dramatic for needing affection and consistency or reassurance in the way your heart understands it. Sometimes the truth is this: they love you the best way they know how, and you need to be loved the way you actually feel it. At least some people do. That doesn't make either of you bad. It just makes you honest. And honesty is where clarity begins.
I think there are a lot of people who, because this doesn't sound like somebody who is like saying you should leave somebody who's in this situation, but I think a lot of people do leave somebody in a situation where they feel like, oh, I'm not being loved the way I believe I should be loved. And instead of having a conversation, trying to work things out, figuring out how they can improve that closeness, and if it's realistic, because sometimes it's just highly unrealistic. But I think a lot of people just give up, and that's terrible, right? To be a man who's not doing anything wrong per se, and have to lose your whole family and everything you've built after a woman has vowed to stick through the tough times. Comment down below. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Till next time. Hey guys,
Wow, not gonna lie, that lady actually hit home with me. I love my family, I love my girl, but we are different in the ways that we love each other. I'm a super affectionate suck up, you know, would do anything for her because I'm a people pleaser, and she is a great person. She doesn't do anything wrong. We don't fight. She cooks, she cleans, she helps take care of our son. She works really hard to bring home the bacon, and she's a great girl, but she's not overly affectionate like I'm used to from other people. And for the rest of that video, that other first lady in the first clip, she sounds like she's not telling the whole story. And like he said, women who use these platforms to make money will go at any angle to get the views, the engagement, all that. So for all we know, that guy could have been a good dude and she was just bored and left, and now she's made herself into leftovers. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and the little dingy button so you know when Jesus drops a new video from heaven. Pray you're all having a blessed day. Peace out and amen.